My name is Brooks Cashbaugh, and this is New Frontiers and Public Dreams. This is I don't know, kind of extension of a lot of the stuff I've been thinking about, which is about myths of America and these kind of like recurrent archetypes in our popular culture that we sort of like read or kind of like draw from our history and reinterpret in a different way. And I've been thinking about a lot of that stuff in relation to a lot of things about gender and the kind of like the rules and expectations we have with that, and kind of how those are strongly present in all of these mythological archetypes that I feel really dominate our culture and direct a lot of things. I mean, like comic books are sort of like where I really got like my first like hankering for art and for drawing. I think comic books are really great at kind of like knowing the sort of like the dimensions that it's working with and not really like shying away from that. Comics are also really about like communicating ideas. It's not just a sort of like a lot of sort of like modern and contemporary art is about like just more about like the visual things, which I love and completely like just blown over by a lot of just like purely aesthetic things, but that at the end of the day it really is about like connecting to this more human relationships and the human component of all that. In each of these there's sort of like the central figure is this kind of like abstracted like kind of like astronaut figure that I'm using to sort of like stepping away from that, looking towards the future in sort of like where there's more of like a blank space, I guess, as opposed to like a lot of like the characters and caricatures like behind them in the past are more limited and constrained by their like historical and cultural contexts, and the central figure is trying to look to a new place that doesn't have those same gender dictations as these figures like in the past that sort of haunt them. For a number of these, been pulling a lot from tarot cards, and this sort of like most of these and the tower one, naturally I sort of was pulling from like the tarot idea, and I was pulling from that in large part just because I realized how tarot cards were able to use their compositions to speak to the ideas that the card was trying to get to. Each card is really like beautifully considered and like really constructed to like convey this idea. I don't know, I got really like fascinated with that, and with the potential of creating this human character and how that relates to a sort of an American history and American mythology attached to it.